ठीक है. Anyway, so this is from October-November 2021, paper 2, variant 2. ठीक है. Let's see what this says. So volume of a cone. अच्छा मैंने formula sheet एक share की थी अपने Instagram पे. ठीक है. That's quite a comprehensive formula sheet. It has conversions also, so get a hold of that if you haven't seen that yet. ठीक है. And उसका print कर लें जो भी है. Keep that with you, especially when you're doing questions. Okay. So matrices of transformation division. Okay, we'll see that. The diagram shows a paper cup in the shape of a cone. The diagram of the diameter of the top of the cup is 7 centimeter. The volume of the cup is 110 centimeter cube. Show that the height of the cup, h centimeter, is 8.57. Correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, now, so what you're given is volume. Now remember, this is a paper cup. Okay, if it's a paper cup, that means it's kind of understood. Although we're not asked to find out the area or anything, but it's kind of understood that it has to be open from the top. Okay. Okay, now. Height of the cup. So we're given the volume, we have to find the height. So there's only one equation connecting the two, and that is the equation, the formula for volume. So volume is equals to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. So the volume is 110, which is equal to 1 upon 3 pi r square. R हमें दिया हुआ है, so I'm just going to replace r with. Please do not make the mistake of replacing r with 7. Remember, it's the diameter that's 7. R जो होगा हमारा वो 3.5 होगा. ठीक है. 3.5 squared. And what's the height? We don't know. अच्छा, कौन से formulas याद करने हैं, कौन से formulas नहीं करने? I recently posted, मैंने अभी Instagram पे recently एक चीज़, एक formula sheet post की है. उस पर I've mentioned clearly what formulas you need to revise and what formulas you don't need to revise. Okay. So now let's cross multiply, and if you do everything right, hopefully your answer should be exactly what the question says. So h is going to be equal to 330 divided by 3.5 squared into pi. I've made h the subject before actually working it out. So let's work out the value of h here. So 330 divided by 3.5 squared into pi. Okay. So yep, h is 8.574. So we'll lock it at 8.57 centimeter. Correct to 2 decimal places. So there is no PDF in the description box, but I'll upload the PDF once I am done with this. Okay. That's when I'll upload a PDF. Okay. If you want it before that, then. So we'll do that next time. Next time maybe I'll upload a blank version of it also. Okay, so you guys can print it out or maybe solve alongside me, whatever it is that you have to do. Okay. Achha, then it says calculate the slant height L centimeter of the cup. Okay, so how will I calculate the slant height? मैं जब तक ये diagram बना रहा हूँ, I want you guys to help me out कि मैं slant height कैसे calculate करूँगा. ठीक है. Please questions not related to this, उसको keep them to a minimum. ठीक है. फिर stream बहुत लंबी हो जाती है अगर मैं आप लोगों के questions का भी जवाब देता हूँ इस तरह से. और काम की चीज़ जो है, जो असल मकसद होता है, वो अचीव नहीं होता. ठीक है. So yeah, tell me how exactly am I going to find out the slant height, guys? Yes, we'll use Pythagoras theorem. Very good. Okay, so the radius is 3.5. The height we just worked out to be 8.57. So that means the slant height L squared is going to be equal to square root of 3.5 squared plus 8.57 squared. Sorry, not 8.5 squared, 8.57 squared. Okay, if I do this right, my answer should be 9.26 as written over here. 3.5 squared plus 8.57 squared. So it's 9.257, 9.257, but as we know, final answers are to be given correct to 3 significant figures, so 9.26 is going to be our answer. Yes, Abu Bakr, you're right. Abdul Manan, but I've already answered that. Mensuration, graphs of functions, statistics, quadratic equations. Just do past papers. You guys will have an idea. आप लोगों को सवाल किसी से पूछने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं पड़ेगी. Okay, now let's have a look over here. It says the cup is cut along the line OA. So the cup is cut along this line. Okay, it is opened out into a sector of a circle with center O and sector X. Calculate the value of X. Okay, now I want you guys to tell me, okay, how exactly should I solve this question? Okay, how exactly are we going to solve this question? Help, मतलब don't tell me exactly कि क्या equation use करेंगे, but मुझे बताओ इस पूरे transition में, जैसे हम इसको cut करके हम इसको एक sector बनाना है, तो इस पूरे transition में कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ है जो same रहेगी या कौन सी चीज़ किसके बराबर हो जाएगी, ये ज़रा मुझे बताएं आप लोग. Seven is the radius. No, 7 is the 7 is the angle same रहेगा कौन सा angle नहीं angle तो same नहीं रहेगा radius तो 3.5 है ठीक है we know that slant height is the radius ठीक है slant height is the radius मान लिया okay yes I can use the formula of arc length also अच्छा देखो let me show you guys something okay now इस पर ना ज़रा गौर करो whatever it is that I'm about to show you I want you guys to focus on that yes most of you are giving the correct answer circumference same रहेगा yes I get what you guys are saying but I want you guys to focus over here इससे आपको और clear हो जाएगा ठीक है now what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens when you cut open a cone and turn it into a sector okay now अच्छा इसकी base पे एक circle होगा I want you to ignore that ठीक है I want you to just focus on the cone becoming the sector ठीक है या इनफैक्ट नीचे वाले सर्कल को भी देख लो उससे भी ज़रा हमें थोड़ा एक फ़ायदा हो जाएगा ठीक है ना अब मैं इसको वापस बंद करने लगा हूँ एंड आई वांट यू गाइस टू पे क्लोज अटेंशन टू द होल ट्रांजिशन ठीक है अच्छा नाउ आई एम गोना टेल यू एग्जैक्टली व्हाट टू फोकस ऑन ओके नाउ आई वांट यू टू फोकस ऑन द सर्कमफ्रेंस ऑफ द सर्कल ठीक है एंड देन टेल मी व्हाट वंस आई ओपन दिस अप तो वो सेक्टर का क्या बन जाता है okay so I want you guys to focus and tell me that what does the circumference of the circle become of the sector okay I hope that makes sense so I'm just going to do that slowly so you guys can see what's going on and let's get a better view of this okay now so what do you guys think what is this length equal to what is the arc length of the sector equal to ठीक है सही है yes you're right so the circumference of the circle becomes the arc length and the arc length of the sector is basically equal to the circumference of the circle ठीक है so that means you guys have understood that अच्छा now अब हमें clear हो गया ना कि कौन सी चीज़ किसके बराबर होती है अब ज़रा वापस जाते हैं ठीक है now we know exactly what needs to be done so this length that I'm highlighting in blue basically turns into this length okay so the length that I'm highlighting in blue turns into this length okay now the length in blue the circumference of the circle अच्छा यहाँ पे ज़रा let's write it in words also so that later on when you guys are looking at it you know exactly what's going on circumference of circle equals to arc length of sector okay circumference कैसे निकालते हैं अब प्लीज़ फॉर्मूला सबको याद होने चाहिए अगर आपको फॉर्मूलाज नहीं याद तो फिर एक काफ़ी सैड सिचुएशन है उसमें I'd appreciate कि अगर आप फॉर्मूलाज याद कर लो ठीक है so 2 pi r is equals to arc length of the sector how do you calculate arc length theta upon 360 multiplied by 2 pi r अच्छा अब there is another problem the other problem is कि what about the radius of the sector इसका radius क्या होगा ज़रा कोई मुझे बता सकता है what will be the radius of the sector again let's have a look over here and tell me what will be the radius of the sector what do you think will be the radius of the sector have a look yes radius of the sector के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ yes radius of the sector will be slant height of the cone have a look over here देखो अभी ये बंद है ठीक है now I've opened it up so radius of the sector is basically the slant height of the cone the length of the cone or the slant height of the cone ठीक है okay perfect so 2 pi और ये आपकी slant height के बराबर है and what was the slant height we worked out to be 9.26 okay so into 2 pi 9.26 now if you do this right our answer should come out to be anything in between 135.7 and 136.1 Walaikum Salam okay now having pi on both sides means that we can just cross it out and that's exactly what I plan to do 2 को भी हाथ के हाथ cross कर देते हैं ठीक है okay now in order to find out the value of x this is what needs to be done 3.5 times 360 divided by 9.26 okay let's work this out 3.5 times 360 divided by 9.26 and we get 136.1 136.06 आ रहा है so हम इसको 136.1 कर देंगे ठीक है एंड में since we gave our answer is correct to 3 significant figures so we'll write 100 actually no angle है angle को 1 decimal place पे ही दिया जाता है sorry my bad angle remember angle को 1 decimal place पे ही दिया जाता है ठीक है okay now comes part D Let's see what part D says. Part D says a second paper cup which is mathematically similar. Now if I were doing this exam, you know what I'd do? I'd immediately highlight mathematically similar. Okay, sometimes it's going to say mathematically similar, sometimes it's going to say geometrically similar, it's the same thing. You'll find the PDF to this once we're done with this stream. मैं इसको upload कर दूंगा and you'll have everything that we've done together with you. Okay, अच्छा, so with the volume of 110 centimeter cube, so yeah, the volume of the second cup is 165 centimeter cube. Calculate the diameter of the top of the second cup. Okay, now what happens when you see geometrically or mathematically similar? Instantly just write down the formula, okay, and we'll keep on plugging in the values later, okay, but just write down the formula. Remember, when it's volume हम cube करते हैं, when it's area what do? We whole squared. Okay, the name of the app is called Shapes. अच्छा, अब एक काम करते हैं, since we want the diameter of the second cup, ठीक है, and we know what the volume of the second cup is, so first की लिखा 110, second की लिखा 165. Now what is the, now remember, if you're using diameter over here, please remember that for the second cup also you will use the diameter. Okay, and what about the second cup? We don't know, वही तो निकालने के लिए आए यहाँ पे. So now we're going to cube the whole thing, and actually we don't have to cube the whole thing, but I'm just going to solve it step by step. So 110 divided by 165 is 2 upon 3. ठीक है, just so you guys know, 110 upon 165 is 2 upon 3. मैं इसको step by step solve कर रहा हूँ so that you guys can see exactly what I've done. Now we're going to get rid of the cube on both sides. So how do you do that? Well, you take the cube root on both sides. ठीक है, so 7 upon L2 is equals to cube root of 2 upon 3. ठीक है, L2 is going to be equal to 7 divided by the cube root of 2 upon 3. ठीक है, so for this just use your calculator. Cube root of 2 upon 3 मेरे पास आ गया, 7 divided by the answer key, so L2 is equals to 8.01. 8.0129 है, so we'll lock it at 8.01. Sir, are we using completing squares there? No, we're not using completing square. Completing square is something else. Is this for paper 2? Yes, this is for paper 2. Sir, continue the whole paper solving mini series. You mean past paper solving? ठीक है, we'll have to do a mix and match. ठीक है, guys, please, like I said, questions other than this उसको ज़रा minimum पे रखो, ठीक है, ताकि आज का हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा questions कर सकें. Okay, I'll explain this again. So mathematically similar, that means V1 upon V2 is equals to L1 upon L2, the whole thing cubed. V1 is volume of one of the cups, so we took volume of this cup over here as 110. Volume of the second cup is 165. Okay, equals to diameter of the first cup divided by diameter of the second cup, the whole thing cubed. ठीक है, please remember यहाँ पे अगर if you're taking diameter of one object, you have to take diameter of the other object also. ठीक है, and then we solved this. We got rid of the cube. How? By taking it to the other side, so it became cube root. Took the cube root of 2 upon 3, cross multiply किया, L उधर गया, cube root of 2 upon 3 यहाँ पे आ गया, 7 से divide हुआ, and that's it. We got the answer. How much longer are you going to stream? Why? Have you gotten tired already? I hope not. Probably an hour and a half or 2 hours max. Let's see. Yeah, you could have done it like that also. Then you would have had to take the cube root towards the end. Okay, here's part B. Part B says calculate the shaded area. Okay, theoretically, so let's read the other let's read the question also. OPS and OQR are sectors of circles, each with center O. OPQ and OSR are straight lines. ठीक है, useful information. OP is equals to 7.4, so this is 7.4 that you see, and PQ is 1.2. Okay, so theoretically, tell me how exactly are we going to work this out? Just tell me theoretically, okay? Don't start solving it. We'll do that together. Yes, if it's area, then we do whole square. Area of okay, just quickly do a small correction there, Abdul Manan. Okay, it's not area of major sector minus area of minor sector. That is when you have two sectors within the same circle. Okay, that's when you use that method. Okay, so it's basically area of the bigger sector minus the area of the smaller sector. Okay, so make that correction. Yes, full sector minus unshaded sector, that's still okay. Faizi Khan has said big pizza slice. Yeah, okay, that's actually very nice. Big pizza slice minus small pizza slice. Okay, keep it simple. Okay, now बट प्लीज़ मेजर और माइनर वाली गलती जो है वो मतलब although I know what you probably meant by major, you probably meant the bigger sector, and by minor you probably meant the smaller sector. I get that, but just so it's clear, major sector is when you have within a circle you have two sectors, one of them is bigger and the other is smaller. Okay. Anyway, so 96, oops, sorry about that, 96 upon 360 into pi. Acha, how will you calculate the area of the bigger sector? You will do 7.4 plus 1.2, so that's 8.6. 8.6 squared minus 96 upon 360 into pi 7.4 squared. Okay, so let's work this out, see what we get. So pi into 8.6 ka square minus pi into 7.4 squared, okay, into 96 divided by 360. Okay, so we're looking at 16.08. So shaded area is equals to 16.08, which correct to three significant figures is going to be 16.1 centimeter square. वैसे तो यहाँ पे यूनिट दिया हुआ होता है, आपको लिखना नहीं होता, ठीक है, but yeah, it's just a good habit. Okay, here's question number 10 part A. Sir, curved surface area of sector का फॉर्मूला क्या है? देखो सेक्टर का फॉर्मूला, सेक्टर का एक ही एरिया होता है, कर्व्ड सरफेस, फ्लैट सरफेस, ये 3D शेप्स में होते हैं, ठीक है. सो सेक्टर के एरिया का फॉर्मूला है थीटा अपॉन 360 इंटू पाई आर स्क्वायर, ठीक है. प्लीज़ एटलीस्ट कीप द फॉर्मूला शीट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, ठीक है. मैं एक काम करता हूँ, मैं आप लोगों को उस फॉर्मूला शीट का लिंक भेज देता हूँ जो मेरे इंस्टाग्राम की पोस्ट है, चैट में मैं भेज देता हूँ, सो यू गाइस कैन कीप दैट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. There you go. Okay, now Abdul Rafi, but I've already answered your question. Okay. Okay, question number 10 part A. Let's have a look at that. It's basically dealing with limits of accuracy. It says a cuboid measures 6.2 centimeter by 4.8 centimeter by 2.5 centimeter. Each measurement is correct to the nearest millimeter. Calculate the upper bound of the surface area of the cuboid. Okay, so if you want the upper bound of the surface area, पहले तो ये देख लो कहीं पे open तो नहीं लिखा हुआ. No, it doesn't say open anywhere. That means we're going to use the actual formula, length into width plus twice of length into height plus twice of width into height. Okay, and whatever dimensions that we're going to use, length, width and height, we're going to find their upper bounds. Now, limits of accuracy पे भी recently मैंने एक post Instagram पे डाली थी, उसमें मैंने इसके सारे notes cover कर लिए थे, ठीक है. So you guys can check it out if you want. So, but it's very simple. You always look at what the length is given to you. Since it's given to you correct to the nearest millimeter. Nearest millimeter का मतलब 0.1 centimeter. Okay. Nearest millimeter means it's 0.1 centimeters. If it's open, then जो length into width है, we're not going to multiply that by 2, because the reason why we do it by 2 because we're considering the base and the top. Okay. Okay, so here's what we have. सबसे पहले let's write down the length 6.2. Since it's correct to 0.1, इसको divide by 2 करेंगे. Upper bound हो जाएगा इसका क्या 6.25. Okay, and lower bound हो जाएगा आपका 6.15. And we're gonna do the same for the other lengths also. 4.8 का upper bound होगा 4.85. Lower bound होगा आपका 4.75. And we're gonna do the same for 2.5 also. इसका upper bound होगा 2.55. Lower bound hoga 2.45. Okay. Now, obviously we're going to take all the upper bounds 2.55, 4.85 and 6.25 and plug them in the formula. So twice of length into width, that means 6.25 into 4.85 plus twice of length into height, that means 6.25 into 2.55, okay, plus twice of width into height, that means 4.85 into 2.55. ठीक है. Okay, now so 6.25 into 4.85 times 2 plus 2 into 6.25 times 2.55 bracket close plus 2 into 4.85 times 2.55. Okay, so we're looking at 117.235. Now, since this answer is exact, you can see why we haven't rounded this off. Okay, So do we have to now apply on the formula of their upper bounds? Okay, so we're going to use all the upper bound lengths, ठीक है, जितने भी हमारे पास dimensions हैं उनका upper bound use करके, and then we're going to find out the total surface area, ठीक है. Okay, now part B. Have a look at this. एक recap दे देता हूँ. Since we want the upper bound of the surface area, so whatever dimensions we're going to use upper bound of them. How to convert millimeter square into centimeter square? So how do you go from millimeter to centimeter? You divide by 10. Okay, but if you want to go from millimeter square to centimeter square, you divide by 10 squared. Yeah, so 1 centimeter is 10 millimeter. ठीक है, nearest millimeter का मतलब 0.1 centimeter. ठीक है. Okay, now here's part B. Part B says you're given volume of a pyramid which is 1/3. Why didn't you round the answer? Because it's exact. Only non-exact answers are supposed to be rounded off. अगर आपका आंसर exact है, that means अगर उसके decimal places जो हैं वो 2, 3, 4 के बाद आके ख़त्म हो गए, so you don't round that off. ठीक है, only non-exact answers are to be rounded off. Okay, इसका आंसर अगर आप पीछे देखोगे, you'll see के round off नहीं किया हुआ. ठीक है, only वो आंसर्स जिनके डेसिमल चलते रहते हैं और रिकरिंग भी नहीं होते, उनको हम राउंड ऑफ करते हैं. ठीक है. Okay, part B. Part B says the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 of a base area times height. Okay. The diagram shows a square base pyramid. Now, if I were you doing this exam, I would immediately highlight or underline the word square. Okay, so that I know I need to pay attention to that. A, B, C, D, E. E is vertically above X, the center of the base. Okay. The height of the center of the base, maybe underline that also, might come in handy later on. The height of the pyramid EX is 17. Okay, that's great. And EC is 9. Okay, now since EC is 9 and since this is a square base pyramid, that means all the other lengths that you see, all the other slant lengths that you see have to be 9 also. Okay. Show that the length of the base is 12 centimeter. Okay, length of the base is 12 centimeter. And how many marks is this? This is 4 marks. Okay, so if it's a 4-mark question, that means there's a lot that needs to be done. Okay, so any suggestions as to how should I find out the length of the base? What should be, don't actually solve the entire thing, okay, but tell me कि कैसे निकालेंगे इसको. Angle AXB is 60 degrees. No, it's not going to be 60 degrees. Well, I can plan. The length is 19. Did I say 9? Okay, maybe I said 9 by accident, but it's 19. Okay. AX is equals to AB. AX is equals to AB. Yeah. No, that's not true. AX is not equal to AB. Okay, Pythagoras theorem first. ठीक है, सही है. So yeah, I see where you guys are going. So देखो, basically we're going to use Pythagoras theorem over here. ठीक है, have a closer look at what we're doing. We're going to be using Pythagoras theorem over here. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब ये कहीं पे लिखा हुआ नहीं है कि ये 90 degree triangle है, but ये 90 degree triangle होगा. Why होगा? Because the reason why this is going to be a 90 degree triangle is because you have a horizontal base and you have a vertical line. Notice how the question says vertex E is vertically above X. So if you have a horizontal base and you have a vertical line, so every time you have a vertical object on a horizontal line, that means it's going to be a 90 degree angle. Okay, we're not going to use sine, cos, tan or anything like that. We're going to use Pythagoras theorem. Yes, we're going to use Pythagoras theorem. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब Pythagoras theorem कैसे यूज़ करेंगे? XC निकालते हैं पहले ज़रा. So XC squared plus 17 squared is equals to 19 squared. Okay. So what is the plan for O-levels from now? Shouldn't I be the one asking you guys? I mean, आप stream का plan पूछ रहे हो? Stream का I haven't planned it yet. We're just doing it day by day. Okay. This is from October-November 2021, paper 2, variant 1. Okay. Okay. So XC आ गई हमारे पास square root of 72. ठीक है. Now AC is going to be what? AC is going to be twice of XC. ठीक है. So that means AC is going to be equal to 2 under root 72. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब A, B और B, C दोनों क्या होंगे? दोनों equal होंगे. ठीक है. So I'm just going to call them A. Why? Because we have a square. Okay. That's the reason why they're going to be equal. That's because we have a square. Okay. So A squared plus A squared, sorry, not B. A squared plus A squared is equal to 2 under root 72 whole squared. So I'm using Pythagoras theorem again, and just so we're clear, Where exactly am I using Pythagoras theorem? I'm using it over here. Okay, this is where I'm using Pythagoras theorem. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to switch to blue for now. Okay, so what do we have? We have 2a squared is equals to 4 square root 72 ko square karoge, so it's just going to be 72 now. Okay, and let's simplify this now. A square is equals to 4 into 72 divided by 2. So a square is equals to 144, which means a is equals to what? A is equals to 12 centimeter. So there you go. हमारे पास क्या आ गए? हमारे पास a आ गए. ठीक है. Okay, now I'm going to give you guys a recap of this. Okay, so first thing we did was we worked out, we using 17 and 19, we worked out xc, which is basically half the diagonal because it's a square. So xc, we multiplied xc by 2, that gave us the entire diagonal, which is ac, and since it's a square, that means the lengths are going to be the same. So then we did a squared plus a squared equals to square of the diagonal. Basically we're just using Pythagoras theorem again and again. Okay, so a squared plus a squared equals to hypotenuse squared, and then we solved this equation. A squared plus a squared became 2a squared. Once we squared this, 2 became 4, root 72 became 72. Okay, and then a squared equals to 144, that means a is equals to 12. Sir, is the diagonal of a square equal to the length? No, the diagonal of a square is never equal to its length. Okay, the diagonals are different. Sir, I know we don't square the roots, but why? Well, root and root just sort of cancel each other out. Okay, that's why we don't square the roots. Okay, sir, we didn't use the formula for pyramid. Does the question give it to confuse us? No, beta, that's because there is more to this question that is to come. Okay, so we'll probably use it in the next part, but there you go. Part 2 says calculate the volume of the pyramid. So how will we calculate the volume of the pyramid? So volume is equals to 1/3 times the base area. Okay, now we know what the base area is, since ये 12 है और ये 12 है. ठीक है, so 12 times 12, okay, times the height, which was already given to us, is 17. Okay, so let's work this out. 12 into 12 is 144 divided by 3 into 17. So we have 816 centimeter cube. Okay. But a formula, if you can't memorize the formulas, then I'm really sorry. You need to maybe come up with something like, maybe write down the formulas like 5-6 times dekh ke, and then 5-6 times without looking, and then that's how you're gonna be able to memorize them. Okay, try and understand as many formulas as you can. For example, you can understand the formula of cylinder, you can understand the formula of cone. Okay, you can understand the formulas for cuboid and cube. Okay, but the ones you don't understand, well, there's no this is not a legit excuse that formulas yaad nahi ho pate. Okay, you need to memorize. Okay, calculate angle CBE. Okay, so I'm just going to clear this up for a while. Okay, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and इसको फिर हम नीचे लेके जाएंगे. I'm just going to copy this, do undo. ठीक है, और इसको यहाँ पे पेस्ट कर सकते हैं. Yes, so that's a good suggestion. I mean, that's a good way to do that. If you can't memorize them, that's okay. You can understand them. Okay, that's going to help you eventually memorize them. All right, so here's 12 and here's also 12. What do we have to calculate? We have to calculate angle CBE. So in order to calculate angle CBE is, by the way, this angle. Okay, so what kind of triangle is triangle CBE going to be? Question for you guys. What kind of triangle is CBE going to be? Sir, sine use hoga isme? Nope, not sine. Yes, it's going to be an isosceles triangle. Yes, good job. So this is 19 right here. Okay, I would suggest कि आप इसको separately बना लो. Okay, because that'll just make your life easy. अच्छा, चलो. Separately तो हम बना रहे हैं इसको. ठीक है. In the meantime, I want you guys to answer this question. So we have a triangle where we know all the lengths and we want to find out one angle. How exactly are we going to do that? Well, you guys have already answered that. Cosine, yes, that's correct. We're going to use cosine. CBE, just so we're clear, is this angle. Okay, so how are we going to work this out? Let's see. cos of CBE, ठीक है. Now remember, it is only the angle that we have to find, ठीक है. Is going to be equal to, जो included sides हैं वो आपकी plus होंगी. That means 12 को ऐड करोगे, 19 को भी ऐड करोगे. So 12 squared plus 19 squared, and the side opposite to it will be subtracted, minus 19 squared over 2 times 12 times 19. Okay. So इसको कैलकुलेटर में as it is plug in करके निकाल लो, ताकि आप कहीं भी राउंड ऑफ के चक्कर से बच जाओ, या आप कहीं भी कोई बिट्स एंड पीसेस में करोगे तो गलत होने के चांसेस ज़्यादा होते हैं. ठीक है. सो आई एम लुकिंग एट cos of CBE is equals to 6 upon 19. Let's do cos inverse of the answer. So we have 71.59. इसको हम 71.6 कर देंगे. 71.6 degrees. Okay, great. Now trigonometry is usually a topic that comes with Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so these two topics kind of go hand in hand. Okay, another question. This is from May June 2021, paper 2, variant 2, the very last paper. Not the mini series, but other than that. So it says here a cone has radius 6 centimeter and slant height L. Okay, the total surface area of the cone is 84 pi. Show that L is equals to 8. Okay, total surface area. ठीक है. टोटल सरफेस एरिया में क्या क्या आएगा, ज़रा कोई बता सकता है? सर डिड वी यूज इनवर्स फॉर द आंसर? यस, व्हेनेवर यू वांट एन एंगल, ओके, व्हेनेवर यू वांट एन एंगल यू ऑलवेज डू इनवर्स. Okay, so question, how do we find out the total surface area? What shapes are we going to include in the total surface area? Yes, the curved area and the circle. Yes, Sabiha, Abdullah, aapka answer bhi sahi hai. Okay, so we're going to take the base, okay, and we're going to take the curved surface area. Okay, so as far as the base goes, the area of the base is going to be pi into 6 squared. Okay, this is the base, plus the curved surface area, which is going to be pi or L, and that's equal to 84 pi. Now you have pi with all three. Let me just write this down. Yeah, now that you have pi with all three terms, so you can cross it out. So 6 squared is 36. Okay, 36 plus 6L is equals to 84. So 84 minus 36, so I'm looking at 6L is equals to 48. Let's do 48 divided by 6. So that means slant height is equals to 8. Okay, there you go. Sir, it's a different question, but for example, if you have calculated a value in party of questions, and in the next part of the question you have to use the value. Okay, so for the next part, use the rounded off value, correct to 3 significant figures. But within the same part, you do not use the rounded off value. Okay. Okay, volume of the cone, very simple. We have all the ingredients. Khair, ingredients हमारे पास नहीं. We don't have all the ingredients. We need to work out the height. Okay. So how are we going to work out the height? Let's see. The slant length, the slant height is 8. Height क्या है नहीं है, but we can very easily work it out. So we're going to call this h. So yeah. So let's use Pythagoras theorem. H squared plus, wait a minute. H squared plus 6 squared is equals to 8 squared. Let's work this out. H is equals to 64 minus 36 inside the square root. Okay, now, अब देखो, Jafar, to answer your question, since over here I've worked out the height, so I'm not going to use the rounded off value. I'm going to try and use the exact value. Okay, in fact, I'm going to try and use the value in my calculator, okay, because it's the same part. So volume is equals to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. In place of h, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the answer key. Sir, pi cut हुआ, कहाँ pi cut हुआ? Because वो तीनों जगह पे था ना. Think of it that you're taking pi common, and if you've taken pi common and you have pi on the left hand side and on the right hand side, you can cross it out. Okay. Alright, so volume is equals to what? Volume is equals to 1 upon 3. Okay. 1 upon 3 into pi into r square. Radius क्या है हमारा 6. So into 6 squared into answer. Now I'm using the answer key here. ठीक है. So I'm looking at 199.48 something, जो कि correct to 3 significant figures क्या हो जाएगा, 199 हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Yes, I will try and inshallah make a video. ठीक है. Like I said, I've done most of the work for the video. We'll probably upload it tonight. Yes. I mean, we'll probably make it and upload it tonight. Inshallah. कर दूंगा आज, inshallah कर दूंगा. Don't worry. Part C. Part C says a similar cone has a total surface area of 47.25 pi. Find the radius of this cone. Okay. So the keyword in this entire question is what? The keyword in this entire question is similar. Okay, and the second you see similar, you have A1 upon A2 is equals to L1 upon L2, the whole thing squared. Okay. So the whole thing squared. अच्छा, अब A1 और L1 हम इसको ले लेते हैं. So the total surface area of this cone is 84 pi. ठीक है, 84 pi. The total surface area of the cone that's similar to it is 47.25 pi. Okay. The radius of this cone is 6. The radius of the other cone, well, let's just leave it at L2. Okay. And don't forget to square it. Okay, so first things first, let's cross out the 2 pi's. Now let's do 84 divided by 47.25. Okay. So we're looking at 6 upon L2 whole squared is equals to 16 upon 9. Now you guys know what we're going to do next, right? We're going to take the square root on both sides. So what do you have? You have 6 upon L2 is equals to 4 upon 3. Cross multiply, so 4 times L2 is equals to 18. L2 is equals to 18 upon 4, which is 4.5. There you go. 4.5 is the answer. Okay. Certain marking scheme, you also get a range, so don't have to be specific. Yes, but देखो, examiner की एक requirement होती है that the final answer should be given correct to 3 significant figures. Okay. And if you read the examiner report, you'll notice कि उसमें they're very strict on that. Okay. They're very strict on giving the answers correct to 3 significant figures. You may be penalized for that also. So it's best that you follow that. Okay. All right. अच्छा, अब this is a different question का part B. ठीक है. It's not this question. It's a different question का part B. But the reason why I've mentioned it here, the reason why I've taken this question over here, because it deals with 2D mensuration. Okay. So it says P and Q are points on the circumference of a different circle, center O. P, R, and Q are tangents to the circle, and P and Q respectively. ठीक है. So what happens when a radius meets the tangent? Question for you guys. Starter? Okay. Sorry about that, I guess. Stream seems to be fine. Yes, 90 degrees. Perfect. Okay. So that means we'll have 90 degrees over here. And for the same reason, we'll have 90 degrees over here also. ठीक है. अच्छा. अब हमने क्या निकालना है? हमने निकालना है PR. PR निकालने के लिए हमें ज़रा थोड़ी सी मॉडिफिकेशन करनी होगी. ठीक है. So what modification will that be? We're gonna have to make a line that runs from O to R. Okay. What that will do is that will bisect this angle. Okay. 130, half of 130 is 65. Okay. Now we have to find out this length, which naturally becomes the opposite length, and the length that you're going to have to use is the adjacent length. So we're going to have to use tan for this. So tan of 65 is equals to opposite, which is PR, upon adjacent, which is 8. Let's work this out. Make sure your calculator is not in radian mode. So I'm talking about AdMath students and non-AdMath students also. Please make sure that you guys reset your calculator before you start. So PR is 17.15, which correct to 3 significant figures is going to be 17.2. Okay. All right. Now this is a 4-mark question. This question says calculate the percentage of quadrilateral ORPQ that is shaded. अच्छा, अब एक काम करते हैं. As always, इसका हम लेते हैं इसको कॉपी करते हैं और इसको नीचे लेके चलते हैं. और अब आप लोग मुझे बताएं, want you guys to tell me, how will I calculate the percentage of the quadrilateral that is shaded? Tangent is a line which touches the circumference once. Yes. Yes, पूरा पेपर इन डिग्री मोड देंगे आप लोग, ठीक है, मैथ स्टूडेंट्स. So I got stuck in this one. कोई बात नहीं, give it a shot. Find area of two triangles. Triangle minus sector. Yes, Saad. Triangle minus sector, and then we're going to multiply that by 2. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. So what you guys see in red, okay, whatever it is that I'm going to do in red now, will be for the area of triangle. Okay. So this is the area of triangle. So let's work this out now. Yes, it's a 4-mark question. Exactly, it's a 4-mark question. Area of triangle हम कैसे निकालेंगे उसके लिए ज़रा we'll have to now in fact no wait, we don't have to do anything. The question has already made us work out PR, right? So we've worked out PR turned out to be 17.2. Okay, so we're going to use that. So half into 8 into 17.2. Okay, that's going to give us the area of triangle. Let's see what do we get. 0.5 into 8 into 17.2. Okay, so we're looking at 68.8. This is the area of triangle. Okay, from this I'm going to minus the area of sector. Okay, so what you see me highlighting in blue is the area of sector. Okay, so I'll write that down over here. Okay, how will I calculate area of sector? 65 upon 360 times pi 8 squared. Let's see what do we get. 65 divided by 360 into pi into 8 squared. So I am looking at, अब क्योंकि this is now my final answer, so you know what, I'm going to keep it in terms of pi only. ठीक है, अच्छा. So area of shaded region तो मेरे पास आ गया, ठीक है. अब what will be the total area? Total area will be the area of the two triangles, ठीक है. अच्छा, what do we want? We want the percentage of the quadrilateral OPRQ that's shaded. Okay, so how do we get that? So ये मैं green से कर रहा हूँ. So basically shaded area upon the area of OPRQ into 100. Okay, theoretically this is what we have to do. Now what we're trying to do over here is we're trying to find out the shaded area. So shaded area is basically equal to what? Area of triangle, which is 68.8 minus 68.8 minus 104 over 9 pi. Like I said, this is not my final answer, इसलिए मैं इसको pi की terms में ही रख रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Okay. Now is the time to find out the actual percentage, ठीक है? So shaded area 68.8 minus 104 upon 9 pi upon the area of OPRQ. OPRQ means twice the area of the triangle. Okay, that means 68.8 times 2 into 100. Okay. Sir, 65 क्यों लिया? Why not OT angle? Because मैंने उसको sector में cut कर लिया ना. मैंने इसको two equal sectors में cut कर लिया. So what I've done over here is I basically worked out half the shaded area, ठीक है? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it by 2. Yes, I'm going to multiply it by 2. Which अच्छा आपने याद दिला दिया? Because I just realized that I forgot to do that. Okay, so we're gonna multiply that by 2. Okay, so let's see, 2 bracket open 68.8 minus again another fraction 104 upon 9 इसके साथ pi bracket close, फिर denominator में आए, denominator में 68.8 times 2. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at 0.472 something. Let's times it by 100. So यार हमारा 47.23%. इसको हम correct to 3 significant figures देंगे. So that's going to be 47.2. ठीक है. So quite a lengthy question. लेकिन theoretically अगर बात करें, I would say theoretically it's an easy question. Okay. All you need to know is how to find out the area of triangle and how to find out the area of sector. फिर उसी की manipulation है सारी. Okay, उसी को plus minus करने हैं, उसी को आगे पीछे करना है. Plus, minus, multiply, divide, and that's it. You'll get the answer. Okay. Sir, maths आती है लेकिन sir burden बहुत होते हैं. क्या करूँ मैं? Question भी 3 दफ़ा पढ़ता हूँ. देखो, identify करो अब्दुल राफी that where exactly are you losing marks? या what kind of error are you exactly making? अब्दुल्ला बेटा क्या नहीं समझ आया आपको? अच्छा, दिस इज़ अ क्वेश्चन This question, by the way, is one of my personal favorite questions. Okay. This is from October-November 2020, paper 2, variant 2. Okay, Abdullah, मैं दोबारा बता देता हूँ. So what we've done is we first worked out the area of the shaded region. Okay, and how did we do that? Worked out the area of triangle minus the area of sector. So we got the area of the shaded region. ठीक है, half of the shaded region. Now क्योंकि symmetrical है, ठीक है, identical है, so we're gonna multiply it by 2. ठीक है, so we're gonna multiply the shaded area by 2 so that we have the total shaded area, and then we're gonna divide it by the area of the quadrilateral. Okay, so area of quadrilateral क्या होगा? Area of triangle times 2. ठीक है, and then we're gonna multiply it by 100 ताकि percentage आ जाए. Okay, that's it. So sorry I say this, but sponsored by Super. But then every time I say the same thing, I'm not eating Super. Okay, anyway. So this is question number 4. Question number 4, like I said, this question is my personal favorite question from recent years. Okay. And this is from October-November 2020, paper 2, variant 2. Okay. Let's see what this says. Mushkil sawal hai, okay. And the sad part is, part 2 mein there's a lot of working, but for 3 marks. Okay. So yeah. Triangle ki height 17 kaise li? Well, 90 degree ban raha hai na, so one is base and the other is height. Let's see what this says. It says the diagram shows a solid formed by joining a cylinder to a hemisphere. Okay. The diagram shows the diameter of the cylinder is 9 centimeter and its height is 16 centimeter. Okay. The volume of the hemisphere is equal to the volume of the cylinder. Show that the radius of the hemisphere is 7.86 centimeter. Correct to 2 decimal places. Okay. So you can see that you're given the volume of the sphere and you're given the surface area of the sphere. Okay, so you don't have to memorize that. So let's find out. Let's see what the question says. It says volume of the hemisphere is equal to the volume of the cylinder. Okay, let's also underline the word volume. How do we calculate the volume of the hemisphere? पूरे sphere का 4.3 होता है और hemisphere का 2.3 होगा. Pi r cubed. ठीक है, hemisphere का जो radius है उसको हम capital R कह रहे हैं. ठीक है, is equal to volume of the cylinder. Cylinder की volume क्या होती है? Pi r square h. ठीक है, अब r क्या होगा? cylinder का 4.5 होगा और height क्या होगी? 16 होगी. ठीक है, please make sure you have the formulas memorized. Okay, getting a question wrong just because you haven't memorized the formula is not a good excuse. Okay, it's a horrible excuse in fact. So what do you have? You have 2r cubed is equals to 4.5 squared times 16 times 3. ठीक है, r cube को subject बनाते हैं. 4.5 squared times 16 times 3 upon 2, and then we'll take the square root of the answer, whatever it is that we get. Okay, so 4.5 squared into 16 into 3 divided by 2. Sorry, not the square root, cube root. And then let's take the cube root of the answer. So we are looking at 7.862, जिसको हम 7.86 पे रोक देते हैं because the question says so. 7.86 centimeter, correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, calculate the total surface area of the solid. Okay, now things are about to get quite crazy. अभी जब हम इसका total surface area निकालेंगे, ठीक है? Yeah, cube roots out. Thank you. अच्छा, अब पहले तो I want you guys to answer this question, and that is, imagine you're holding this object in your hand, ठीक है? And I want you to tell me how many different, don't name the surfaces, but count करके मुझे बताओ कि आप इसके कितने surfaces touch कर सकते हैं या feel कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, imagine holding this object in your hand, ठीक है, and tell me how many different surfaces can you touch or feel. I don't like it when maths teachers say it's easy. Well, okay, I don't know if you're referring to me, but I'm not saying this is easy, I'm saying this is difficult. Okay, but that's what makes it fun. 3, okay. 3, is that correct? 1. Think again, think again. Put some thought into it. ये नहीं कि 2-3 लोगों ने 3 लिख दिया तो अब बाकी सब भी 3 लिखे चले जा रहे हैं. ठीक है, put some thought into it. Okay, all of them could be wrong. Well, all of them could also be right, but I want you guys to put some thought into it. Everyone should put some thought into it before they answer. Okay, Uzair, no spamming. I get that. Achha, don't start naming them. Don't start naming them yet. ठीक है, we'll do that later. Let's save that for later. पहले ज़रा number settle कर लेते हैं ना. Okay, so the correct answer is 4. ठीक है, the correct answer is 4. ठीक है, अच्छा अब वो 4 कौन से हैं? Let's see what those 4 are. Okay, I'm gonna name them for you. ठीक है, I'm gonna color code them for you to make it easy. अच्छा जी, so let's start by the obvious ones. ठीक है, this one that you see, ये क्या है? ये एक circle है. ठीक है, so this right here that you're looking at is a circle. ठीक है, अच्छा इसका एरिया कैसे निकालेंगे हम? इसका एरिया भी हाथ के हाथ निकाल लेते हैं, क्या ख्याल है? इसका एरिया होगा पाई, रेडियस 4.5 होगा स्क्वायर. ठीक है, सो दैट्स गोना बी 20.25 पाई. ठीक है, दोज हु हैव डन सर्कुलर मेजर विल फील नो डिफिकल्टी इन दिस. आई डोंट थिंक सो. एनीवे, I hope nobody feels any difficulty in this, but I don't think that's true. Acha, how 4? So let me answer that first. How 4? So basically, there's this top part. ठीक है, there's a curved surface area of the cylinder. ठीक है, लेकिन अब इसकी base accessible नहीं है. ठीक है, you can't touch the base of the cylinder. Okay, so here's the top part. Then is the curved surface area of the cylinder. Now then there's this little part. Okay, this part that's part of the hemisphere. ठीक है, but not entirely seen. Okay, that's because you have a cylinder on top of it. Okay, so that's number 3, and then number 4 is the curved surface area of the hemisphere. Zainab, मैंने आपके सवाल का जवाब दे दिया. Now please stop spamming and listen to what I've just said. Okay, so here's the green one. So yeah, here's the red one. Okay, so that's number 3. And I think I've run out of colors. यहाँ पे कौन सा color है? Red है, green है, blue है, black. Okay, so let's go with purple. Let's shade it with purple. Stream stutters, is that correct? Is the stream stuttering for you guys? Okay, now. Well, I'm really sorry if it's doing that. There's nothing I can do about it, except hope it doesn't do that. Okay, anyway, so hopefully this is clear. ये जो मैंने color कर दिया, अब तो clear हो ही गया होगा. ठीक है, कि these are the 4 different surfaces that you can touch or feel or whatever it is that you want to do. ठीक है, अच्छा, now you're welcome. Now let's find out the areas one by one. ठीक है, अब बात करते हैं. Let's talk about the surface that I've highlighted in green. Okay, what is that? That is basically the curved surface area of cylinder. Okay, what is this? Curved surface area of cylinder. Okay, now curved surface area of the cylinder कैसे निकालते हैं? It's 2 pi r h. Okay, so that means this is going to be 2 pi. The radius is going to be 4.5. ठीक है, and the height is going to be 16. So 4.5 into 2 is 9. 9 times 16 is 144. So 144 pi. Did you guys notice something? कि मैं इसको pi के terms में रख रहा हूँ. Why am I doing that? So that I can round off towards the very end. Okay. And why would I round off towards the very end? Because it's the same question. Okay. So if it's in the same question, the best thing you can do is you should round off at the very end. Okay, just a second. Let me just fix ये stream का ज़रा एक. We recommend that you use it. Okay, I'm sorry if the stream is still stuttering. I've tried to fix the settings now. Hopefully बेहतर हो गया होगा. है. Okay, so done with the green part. Now let's talk about the red part. ठीक है, what is the red part? अब red part के लिए there's a lot of work that needs to be done. ठीक है, उसके लिए not a lot of work, but yeah, quite a bit of work that needs to be done. उसके लिए we'll have to consider the radius of this hemisphere. Okay, which turned out to be 7.86. ठीक है, so and since it's remember, since it's a circle, तो हम pi r square use करेंगे. So pi into 7.86 squared minus pi into 4.5 squared. ठीक है, सो लेट्स वर्क दिस आउट. इसको आई थिंक सैडली मुझे पाई की टर्म्स में ही रखना पड़ेगा, पाई की टर्म्स में नहीं रखना पड़ेगा. 7.86 स्क्वायर्ड माइनस 4.5 स्क्वायर्ड इंटू पाई. ओके, सो दिस आई विल हैव टू राउंड ऑफ. ये हो जाएगा 130.469. ठीक है. रेडियस कहाँ से आ गया? रेडियस हमने पहले पार्ट में निकाला था बेटा. ठीक है. We figured out the radius in the first part. Okay, I think you guys joined late. In the first part, we had to use some information to show that the radius of the hemisphere is 7.86. ठीक है. अच्छा. And then finally, we're almost there. Then finally, हमने क्या करना है? We need to find out the region that I've highlighted in purple, which is basically the hemisphere. Hemisphere का area क्या होता है? यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है आपको. Surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. Hemisphere का क्या होगा? Hemisphere का होगा ये 2 pi r square. ठीक है. रेडियस हम क्या यूज़ करेंगे? 7.86 यूज़ करेंगे स्क्वायर्ड. लेट्स वर्क दिस आउट. सी व्हाट वी गेट. 7.86. Okay, 7.86 squared into 2 pi. So we're looking at 388.1726. ठीक है. Now is the time to sum all of them up. ठीक है. So 20.25 pi plus 144 pi plus 130.469 plus 388.1726. And there you go. Finally हमारा आंसर आ गया 1034.648. इसको जब हम correct to 3 significant figures देंगे, then it's going to be 1030 centimeter square. No need to write centimeter square, that's already written, but 1030 is going to be your answer. ठीक है. So a lot of work for just 3 marks, but sadly that's how it is, you know, nothing we can do about it. Anyway, okay, so let me try and pick out a difficult question and let's solve that instead of doing all the questions. ठीक है. क्या ख्याल है? चलो ये क्वेश्चन करते हैं. Let's do this question. Okay, let's see what this question says. This is from May June 2020, paper 2 variant 2. अच्छा, एक काम करते हैं. I have solved this entire paper on my channel. तो इस क्वेश्चन को हम skip करते हैं. Instead of doing this question, let's do a question that I haven't solved on my channel. वैसे तो मैं काफ़ी सारे solve कर चुका हूँ already, but ये करते हैं. चलो, let's do this question. सर कोई worst answered question कराएं latest mensuration का प्लीज़. सेकंड लास्ट रो का सेकंड करा दें. सेकंड लास्ट रो का सेकंड. ये आसान है. ठीक है, ये आसान है, इसको छोड़ो. ये करते हैं. This looks good. Let's see what this says. So this is a question from October November 2018, paper 2 variant 1. This is PDF expert. It says the diagram shows a lamp A. It is made in the shape of a cylinder with a hemisphere on top. The radius of the hemisphere and the radius of the cylinder are both 3 centimeter. ठीक है, that's great. The total height of the lamp is 24 centimeter. ठीक है. Show that the volume of lamp A is 650 centimeter cube. Correct to 3 significant figures. Okay. Volume चाहिए. Fairly simple. We're going to find out the volume of cylinder, and in it we're going to add the volume of the hemisphere. So for the cylinder we're going to do pi r square h. For the hemisphere we're going to do pi r cubed. ठीक है. अब I have a question for you guys, and that is May June 11 paper 21 question number 10. Okay, Batul देखते हैं. My question for you guys is, how will I find out what will be the height of the cylinder and how? Okay, what will be the height of the cylinder, and don't just tell me what the height will be, but also tell me how will it be, whatever you say it will be. Yes, beta, I use OBS for live streaming. Yes, it's going to be 24 minus 3. Acha, in case there's anyone who's wondering why 24 minus 3, now remember the radius of the hemisphere will be 3, so that means this distance that you're looking at, this arrow that I've made that you're looking at will also be 3. ठीक है, ये r है आपका, which is equal to 3, so this is going to be equal to 3, so that means this is going to be 24 minus 3, which is equal to 21. Okay. Alright, so pi r squared, that means 3 squared times the height, which is 21, plus pi r, which is 3. Acha, now so since it's a hemisphere, sorry, so it's going to be 2 upon 3 pi r cube. Sorry, मैं 2 upon 3 तो लगाना भूल ही गया. 2 upon 3 pi r cube. Okay, so let's work this out and see what do we get. 3 squared times 21 into pi. 9 into 21. So ये 189 pi हो गया. ठीक है, आंसर एंड में राउंड ऑफ कर लेंगे. 27 divided by 3 into 2, so that's 18 pi. So 189 plus 18 pi is 207 pi. Now let's work it out. Actually, k किसके बराबर है? So this is equal to 650.3, which is going to be 650 centimeter cube. Correct to 3 significant figures. Yes, I will share the PDF with my solutions also. Okay, that's what I normally do. Don't worry about that. Okay. Acha. Then it says calculate the curved surface area of lamp. Okay, so remember it does not say the total surface area, it's saying the curved surface area. Okay, so how will we calculate the curved surface area of this? Thank you, loyal gamers. बताएं जरा curved surface area में क्या कौन कौन से surfaces आएंगे? Sir, add maths marks go for equivalency. So what exactly do you mean by that? Minusing circles area. Yes. Okay. So I get what you're saying. So the only area that we're not gonna include is basically the base that we have, which is the circle. Okay. So we're gonna include the area of the hemisphere and we're gonna include the curved surface area of the cylinder. Okay. So by subtracting the area of the circle, or we could do that. We can later on subtract the area of the circle. But acha, please remember one thing that I want to point out over here is that when you have a composite solid, when you have like a shape that's made up of multiple solids, you don't just go about adding their total surfaces area up. Okay, even if the question had asked us to find the total surface area, even then we wouldn't have done that. Whenever you have to find out the total surface area, what you do is you imagine as if you're holding the object in your hand and see how many surfaces you can touch or feel. So we can feel this top part, which is basically the hemisphere, and we can see the curved part, okay, the curved surface area of the cylinder, and we can feel the base. Okay, but since base is a flat surface, it's not a curved surface, we're not going to include that area, its area. We're only going to include the area of the curved part of the cylinder and the hemisphere. Okay, thank you. अच्छा, सऊद मैं आपके सवाल का ज़रा भी जवाब देता हूँ. Let me get through with this. So for the hemisphere it's going to be 2 pi r square. Radius हम 3 लेंगे, 2 pi r square. And then for the curved surface area of the cylinder, that's going to be 2 pi RH, 3 times 21. Okay. Again, we're going to round this off towards the very end. 3 square is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, 18 pi, plus 21 times 2 is 42, 42 times 3 is 126. Okay, let me just check. 2 into 3 into 21, yep, 126. 126 pi. Let's sum them up. 126 plus 18 is 144 pi. Okay, now let's work it out. 144 into pi is 452. Let's write that again. 452.38. So इसको हम कर देंगे 452.38. So that's going to be 452 centimeter cube. Okay. Sir, we have to memorize volume formulas of all 3D shapes. Okay, so exactly what shapes की आपको volume दी जाएगी उसके पे, like I said, मैंने एक Instagram पे एक post डाली थी. Please, you guys can check it out from there. Maybe I'll include it with this. चलो एक काम करते हैं. I'll include it with this live stream also. ठीक है? I'll include the PDF with this live stream also. You guys can download it from there. ठीक है? Just to quickly show you guys what exactly will be given. ठहरो. Okay, so these will be given to you. ठीक है? you will be given the volume and the area of a sphere, you will be given the volume and the area of a pyramid, you will be given the volume and the area, total area of a cone. Okay, so these you don't need to memorize. Okay, and I'll share a PDF of this also. You guys can download it, print it out, do whatever you want with it. Okay, अच्छा, so ये क्वेश्चन और करते हैं फिर. आई थिंक लेट्स कॉल इट टुडे. क्या ख्याल है? कल स्टूडेंट्स का पेपर भी है. ठीक है, so we'll stop after this question. I mean, we're going to complete this question and then we're going to stop. How many significant? 3 significant figures. Sir, आपकी writing कितनी प्यारी है माशाल्लाह. Well, I think it's the opposite of that. I'm not too fond of my handwriting myself. Could have been better, but you know. Sir, reminder. Saud, what was your question? In short, does it really matter if you get an A or a U in add math? Of course it matters, beta. I mean, they're not the same. Lamp B is mathematically similar to lamp A. The volume of lamp B is 450 centimeter cube. Calculate the total height of lamp B. Okay. Now, mathematically similar. Note क्या आप लोगों ने हर दफ़ा mensuration का question is followed by a similar question. ठीक है? So it's talking about volume. So do we have the volume of lamp A? Yes, we do. 650. Now the good thing is, even if we fail to work out the volume in the first part, we can still use the formula that we're given. I mean the value that we're given. अच्छा, is equals to height of, अच्छा total height के बारे में बात करें. So the total height of lamp A was 24. ठीक है, and the total height of lamp B, we don't know that, so let's just call it